Hi, welcome to my channel. So today I'm going to make a video about how I propagated and planted a few cuttings from some of my larger plants that I have here at home. I inserted some clips of what they look like before putting them into the soil. That was after about a month, probably over a month, maybe like a month and a half, of them being in water. So I water propagated. I had 3 clippings from my Monstera plant, and 1 baby off of my larger Pilea plant. I have my Pilea, so I cut off of this guy. As you know, these ones are very easy to propagate. They always have little kind of baby plants growing inside of them. That's why another name for them is friendship plant. So you can propagate and give them to your friends. Share the wealth of this beautiful baby. I love this one. I love how it looks. I did have a hard time with this one when I first brought it home. It was towards the end of winter, so now I live in Canada, so now that it has been spring for a little while, they're doing a lot better. So it was at the beginning of spring that I took some clippings off of this one and propagated. And from what I've learned, definitely not an expert. I only have started kind of buying plants and bringing them into my home the past few months, so it hasn't been very long for me, but I've grown such a love for them. I've really taken on this as a hobby for sure. So yeah, what I've learned about them is that it is better to propagate in the spring because that is their prime growing season, so you're gonna have more luck propagating if you're doing it in the spring. So this was my kind of mother plant that I took my Pilea cutting from, and I'll show you now. Like I said, I did insert some clips of what they looked like before I put them into the soil, and that was after about 4 months of water propagating, but this is what it looks like now that I've put it into the soil. So I have this here. This, which I do show you, is one of those kind of food spikes that help fertilize the soil and the plant. So yeah, you can see this one was pretty small, but it got a lot of roots on it that you'll see. And this little pot, there is a drainage hole under there, and then this saucer is attached to it. But you can see, like when I watered it after I put it in, you could see that the water does drain through there, which is good, because I found definitely, I mean, for all plants, most plants, drainage is key, which is something I had to learn the hard way. Not that I killed anyone, not yet, but definitely the drainage is key, and especially for the Pilea plants that I find. So yeah, this is what it's looking like now that it's in that soil. I did put them in and water them as soon as I potted them. Something that I've learned as well, just from, like I said, my short time dealing with plants, is that after water propagating, you do want to keep them quite moist because they are used to being in the water. Obviously, that's how they've been growing roots in the water. So yeah, I think you want to keep them pretty moist after they've gone into soil, to help them thrive and kind of get used to this environment before, you know, cutting it back to, with Pileas, I find I water probably once a week. Yeah. So I'll be keeping this one pretty wet, and then I do show you where I keep it as well. Again, from what I have learned, just through videos and talking to other people, after propagating, you want to keep them in pretty bright light. because while I water propagated, I did have them sitting beside the window, so they were getting a lot of light there. So I believe after putting them in soil, you are supposed to keep them in brighter light while they kind of adjust. So that is my Pilea that I have propagated, and now fingers crossed she will survive. We will see. Those are definitely one of my favorite looking plants that I've had so far. Like I said, at first they were a little bit iffy. I wasn't sure if they were going to survive, that I was going to be able to keep them alive. But they seem to all be doing well now. I have 3 and now 4, including that one that I just potted. So I love the look of them. They're just so cute. Very nice. And I find they grow very quickly. So that's one thing that I like, because for me being new with plants, I feel like I want to see them grow quickly. Like I have one ficus that I don't know if she's doing well or not, because she's not really giving me anything back. I put all this kind of love into them, so I want to see her. I want to see them love me back, you know, by growing. So those ones I like because you can see them grow very quickly. Okay, and then my other ones. So this, I took some clippings off of. I'm not going to bring the plant in here because it's out in the living room and it is quite large. So I took 3 cuttings off of my Monstera plant. I'll show you clips of how I had them in the water and what they looked like before they went into the soil. But they grew some pretty big roots, which I was very happy about. From my understanding as well with propagating, these 2 plants are pretty easy to propagate. So I thought that that was a good place for me to start and kind of gain my confidence with it. And if these all go well and start to, you know, grow now that I've potted them, then I will definitely try propagating more of my plants, because I do have a few that I could definitely propagate. Yeah, so I love, like, my Monstera is one of my favorite plants that I have. That's one that I keep, it does sit in bright kind of indirect sunlight. But the plant that I have had has grown so well. It's definitely thriving. It's been growing ever since I got it, and even now, like, there's one leaf, which you will see when I'll take you out to show you the main plant that I cut this from. Leaves growing, new leaves popping out all the time. I love it, and it's beautiful. I mean, with these cuttings, you'll see that they don't have any of the splits in them, which is fine. Like, obviously the splits are what people really like about the Monstera plant. It's very, like, you know, on trend, but I love the way that these look. Anyways, like this one, they're so pretty. I love it. So I did put 3 cuttings into this one pot. I don't know if that's like a no-no, if I should have kept them separate. I mean, I've seen that you are able to do that, so hopefully it goes okay and they will all become friends in this little pot here. I did have 2 of them propagating in the same water cup anyways, which again, I've seen that you can do, and they grew amazing roots like that. So yeah, hopefully they all do okay now that I've put them all in here together. I'm excited. And I love, because obviously my other one is very large, which you'll see. And I know that if this one does well in here, it will also probably grow quite quickly and large. But I love that it's like little table size. I love it. It's so pretty. And I love this pot that I got for it as well. This does have the drainage hole, and this one actually has the saucer came with it, but comes off, it's not attached. So I do like that because then I can see that it's draining. I like to see that it's draining, you know, just to make myself feel better, to know that their roots aren't rotting in there or anything like that. Everything's draining out properly. So yeah, this is my few of my Monstera cuttings. I love this, it's so cute. Yeah, so I will put in some clips of what they look like when they were just coming out of the water. Like I said, and I'll say again in the video, that was about a month, probably a little bit over a month of them water propagating. If I'm able to, I'll insert some pictures kind of through the process, because I'm something that I have learned now being into plants, a plant mom. I feel like this and propagating really did bring up my status as a plant mom. That's for sure. I'm there, and now if they survive, I'm like, mom. Yeah, so I always take a lot of pictures. That's where I'm going with that, is that like mothers take pictures of their children. These are definitely my children. And if you ask my fiance, he will tell you how, you know, they make me happy. And I go around and you know, if you're watching this video, then I'm sure you're into plants as well, but I always touch their leaves and kind of go around every morning and see how they're all doing. So yeah, through the process of me propagating those few cuttings, I did take pictures, kind of probably only like 2 stages of it, but you'll be able to see how kind of quickly that came along. And I'll try to let you know kind of how long after those stages were of the pictures that I have. So I'll try to insert that if I can. And then, yeah, so I'll show you how these all looked before I put them into the soil. And then I will show you where I'm keeping them now that they're in the pots. Like I said, I think that I am supposed to be keeping them in kind of a bright area. So I do have them out on my table right next to the window. And of course, if anyone watching this has any kind of tips for me, I mean, if I did something wrong, like I shouldn't have put all 3 of those cuttings in that pot, maybe don't let me know, because I'm not going to go in and take them out. We're just going to see how it goes. But if anything else that I'm saying, you have any tips for me, or how to help them now that they are in the pots. If you have any care tips for like the Pilea, I love these, but like I said, I did have a little bit of a difficult time with them at the beginning. So if you have any tips on care tips on these, then please let me know. And if you have any propagating tips, because like I said, if this goes well, then hopefully I can propagate some more, whether it's, I mean, I don't know, this is ZZ plant, and I cannot believe how tall this has grown since I got it. Like the new leaves that come out have grown so tall. So I would love to propagate one of these. I have 2 of these ZZ plants and I love them. These are the most, they definitely show me the most love. That's for sure. Because it does, like, they don't need a lot of water. They are beautiful. Like these green, I mean, I love this light green color that they come in, but these dark green leaves are so nice. But like this one sits in my bedroom and doesn't get a lot of light, and it grows like crazy. Like these ZZ plants, very low maintenance, good in low light, I believe. At least for me, they have been doing well like that. So yeah, I love these. I would love to propagate ZZs if that isn't okay thing to do. So if you have any tips for that or propagating any other plants, then please let me know. Yeah, so I'll take you and you can see what these all look like before they went into the pots. Okay. Okay, let's go. It's planting day. I've been water propagating all these little guys here. We have a Pilea. Look at all of those roots. So beautiful. And then all of these are from my big Monstera plant. So we have this one. Look at all that. And then I do have 2 in this cup here. Get all those roots. And I'm gonna put, so I'm putting both the Monstera plants, or the cuttings, into one pot. So this is kind of a medium size pot. Drainage hole. You can see I paid $11 for this at nursery here. And then it came with a little saucer too, but this is a cute clay pot. And then I also got this one with a drainage hole. I found that my Pileas, they do best in these pots. Obviously, it's good to have the drainage hole. I found that mine are doing okay with something like this where the saucer on the bottom is attached. So I got this one for $6. Okay, let's do this. And I made these, took these cuttings. All of them I did at the same time. And it's probably been almost a month, maybe a little bit over a month. So really, it hasn't been that long. This is my first time propagating and cutting any of my plants. So I think that this was a huge success. Well, I guess I shouldn't say that prematurely. We'll see how they survive once I do end up planting them. We'll have to do an update. This is what they're looking like. This guy, I probably should have put a little bit more soil up to the top, but that's okay. He's in there. And then, like I said, I put all 3 of those other cuttings into one pot. So I just kind of, you can see it's almost a little bit of room left up to the top. Yeah, I had a few smaller size cuttings and then some kind of bigger ones. And in each of the pots, I did put one of these food spikes. You can see in this one I have it here, and then I did just water both of them as well. You want to keep them nice and wet because they were growing in the water, so you want to get them kind of used to now being in the soil, so you want to keep them pretty moist. And then this is the mix that I use. I just got this one at Walmart, and I've been using this for pretty much all my plants. Now I'm gonna have them here on this table. This is right next to a window, so this is probably the most bright area in my apartment. So they're gonna stay here. There's a few of my other plants here. I find that these Pileas like to be in bright areas for myself. So yeah, I'll leave these guys here and see how they do now that they're potted. So this is my Monstera that I took the cuttings from for my other water propagation. As you can see, this is pretty large. This is kind of, I love this pot that I have it in. It really matches with like all the decor kind of around it. But yeah, She's pretty big. There's definitely some more kind of nodes down here that I could propagate some more. But we'll wait for now and see how this one goes. Here's that new leaf coming out that I was talking about. It's actually started to unroll pretty quickly. So I feel like in the next few days that'll come out. And some of these ones are newer. You can see how they're pretty glossy. This was a new one too. Yeah, it's a pretty one. I love this plant. Okay guys, so that was me taking you along on this journey of me propagating a few of my cuttings for my plants. Hopefully you enjoyed. I mean, hopefully someone gets something out of this video. I'm sure that there's a lot of people watching this that know a lot more than I do about plants. Like I said at the beginning of this video, I'm very new to this. I always thought that having plants inside of the house, or plants, flowers in general, was such a hard thing to do. I never thought that I could keep something alive. And I'm sure that there's someone sitting here that feels the exact same way. But seriously, it has been so amazing. I've loved every second of it, but I will warn you, if you are getting started, then it is addicting, because I will say the first 2 weeks that I started bringing plants into my house, like I was almost at max capacity. I mean, 2 weeks. I've definitely gotten more since then, but it was kind of just something that I was like, okay, I need a plant for this space and this space. And I just went out and spent so much money at the nursery. But it was addicting. And at one point I had to slow down and say to myself, Jessica, what are you going to do if you can't keep these plants alive that you do have? So I had to slow down and make sure that I could keep everyone alive before I started adding in more. So for now, I feel like I have a good handle on all my little babies that I have here now. I mean, I'm definitely always looking at more. I don't buy as many plants now as I did when I first got into it, although I did buy one today because I went to the nursery to get those, like these new pots for my cuttings. So I did come home with a smaller Monstera, which is so cute. I love her. So yeah, I definitely don't buy as many, but warning, like I said, if you are getting into it, then it is very, very addicting, but it's rewarding. I mean, it's become such an amazing hobby for me. It just makes me so happy. Like going around, I can't even imagine. I can't think about what my space was before I had all of these plants. Like every morning I walk out or I wake up, I have some in my room, and it's just, I love looking at them. They bring so much light and life into my space in my apartment. It's funny because when I first got them, I wake up every morning, and obviously I do now because they need light. So I wake up every morning, I open up all the blinds and I let so much light into my space, whereas I never did that before, which is so weird to think about. But it's different, but it's so nice. Brings so much life into my space, like I said. And it's funny because if I leave for work, and sometimes I leave and my fiance is still in bed, I'll text him like later on in the morning after he's gotten out of bed, and I'll be like, can you please open up all the blinds and you know, in the living room, in the bedroom, the plants need to get some light. And he does it. And a lot of times he's already done it. I mean, that's what he tells me anyways. He'll text me back and say, already done. But he just knows how much I love them and how this has become such a rewarding and amazing hobby for me. So, and it's crazy to see. I mean, I know YouTube is like, you can find anything, no matter what you're looking for, who you are, what you're interested in. But it was really interesting when I first got into it to go through and see all of these videos about plants, how to take care of them. I mean, there's so much information out there to help you along on your journey. And I'm always looking at more. And, you know, if I see that one of my plants is acting up and being a little bit of a diva that day, then I definitely look on YouTube and I look up whatever kind of plant is having an issue, and see, you know, why this could be happening, what I can do to help it. So it's very cool. And yeah, hopefully I'll be making more of these videos. I think that I'm going to film, probably next one is going to be showing all of my houseplants that I do have right now. And then yeah, we'll go from there. But that's all for today. If you guys have any questions, or like I said, any tips about anything propagating related, or care tips for any of these plants that I talked about today, if anyone has propagated a ZZ plant, then please let me know, because that is definitely something I would like to do. I love these ZZ plants. Yeah, so leave anything down below if you have any questions or any tips for me. Yeah, so thanks for watching, guys, and I will see you all next time. Bye.